I am proud to say I finally bought a Speedmaster, and it's not the first one that comes to mind. Keen viewers who paid attention during that intro might be able to guess which watch I've gone for here. After years of searching for the best Speedmaster for me, I ultimately decided to go with the 1957 Trilogy edition, made to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the first ever Speedmaster, the CK2915, which, like the Rolex Daytona, was built for motorsport and not space travel like we associate Speedmasters with today. This 2017 reissue was released in a limited run of 3,557 pieces and was released alongside a vintage reissue Railmaster and Seamaster, hence the Trilogy moniker. Why the 57 Trilogy? Well, I knew I wanted to get a Speedmaster. Every watch collection should have one. But after trying on more Speedy Professionals, 57s and limited editions than I could count, none appealed to me enough to pull the trigger. That wasn't until I came across this piece. It's loyally built to the same size as the 1957 original, making it quite a bit smaller than other Speedies at only 38.5mm, seen here on my 7-inch wrist. The only changes from the original include a heftier twin trigger release clasp, featuring 5mm of micro adjust for those warmer days. Instead of the 321 movement the original 2915 had, this features the 1861 movement, which is the save movement used in all pre-2021 Speedmaster Professionals. The final and most controversial change, which got everyone foaming at the mouth, was the inclusion of on the indices and hands. I can understand why people are upset about this, but personally I kinda like it. Besides lending to the vintage aesthetic, it does make the watch stand out amongst my collection of mostly modern pieces. Besides that, everything else on the watch is as featured on the 2915 original. What was at the time the first ever externally mounted steel tachymeter bezel, the powerful broad arrow hand, elegant sub-dial alpha hands, applied logo, steel brushed case, straight lugs, and domed Hesalite crystal. A fun detail that you can find on the watch is that, back in 1957, there wasn't an official design standard for the Omega logo, meaning when Omega were taking digital scans of the 2915 to replicate, they identified 5 differently designed Omega logos on the watch, since they were all made by different areas of the business or by third parties. And I really appreciate that for this reissue, Omega kept this detail instead of consolidating everything with the modern standards. Now, since the watch was released as part of a limited run back in 2017, I did have to buy it off the secondary market as no ADs still had it in stock. That being said, the condition was brand new and fully stickered, and it also comes with the full leather pouch containing an Omega strap change tool, as well as an official leather strap and NATO strap for the watch. So, I finally bought a Speedmaster. Does this mean I can call myself a watch collector now? I bought the piece back in January, which just happened to be 3 days before Omega announced their £70,000 Canopus Gold 321 Speedmaster, making me feel pretty happy about my purchase. The watch did take a while to arrive, as I only received it a month ago, but it hasn't left my wrist since. Not only is this my first Speedmaster, but it's also my first chronograph. I think subconsciously I've been cooking a lot more recently, just as a way to give myself an excuse to time stuff in the kitchen. Truth be told, I already scratched up the Hesalite crystal quite bad, but a quick dose of Polywatch cleaned that up perfectly. I'll try to be more careful going forward, because this piece ain't leaving my wrist anytime soon.